Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh my gosh, I am so clueless. Well, no, I'm not clueless today. I'm having a very super fantastic sparkling day. It is full of gratitude. It is Thankful Thursday. It is also St. Patty's Day. So wherever you are, if you are celebrating St. Patrick's Day or not, have a super fantastic sparkling day. Anyway, this is my morning call at 4:12 in the afternoon. It got to be one of those crazy mornings again. It was sort of like, because when we went out so Zephy and I are now doing 2 walks in the morning. Because I'm still trying to adjust to going from a 4-hour routine down to a 3-hour routine in the morning to make my call at 8 o'clock. And I actually get on the call like 7:45. So I have to be in place by 7:45 for the call. So I actually really only have 2 3/4 hours. And most of the time, with my morning routine and everything else, I'm not leaving the house till around 7:15, 7:20, which doesn't give us a lot of time to go for a walk. So we got out at 7:15. I thought, oh, great, we'll have time to do our morning circuit. Yeah, no, that did not work. We got out. Zephy decided this morning she was going to go right instead of left. We get onto the street and down towards the end there to go around the corner across the top street that goes across the whole width of the resort area over here. And her best friend Chloe was out for her walk. So we stopped and let them play and everything else. And then by the time we finished, we realized what the time was. It was like 8:30. Well, I didn't have time to finish the circuit. So we just turned around and we walked back down to the end of the road together. And then they went on their way and Zephy came back here. Not a happy camper. She's really funny because when she gets to that corner, she goes over as far as she can on the side of the road. So my arm is fully stretched, her leash is fully stretched, and she's leaning. So if anybody comes up behind, they'll see this dog leaning. I'm standing straight, holding my arm out, and my dog is leaning, trying to get further away from the corner. Yeah, that didn't work. So she did get some good playtime in this morning, but she hadn't finished doing her thing. So we came in, we did the call. When the call was over, I didn't get changed or anything else, so we just put her leash back on and off we went for part 2. And this time when we went out the front door, she went left. And so we walked down the street to the main road, which goes basically up the center of the resort. And we turned left to go up to come around and do the full block this time. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Now, I'd seen golf carts for the last couple of days have been all dressed up with St. Patrick's Day on it. They've got green fringes all around on the roofs and all of that, and people have been busy decorating it for St. Patrick's Day. And I remembered, oh yeah, there's a parade on today. So I get down there and I said to somebody, I said, is this like the assembly area for the parade? They says, oh yeah. I said, what time's the parade start? They go 10 o'clock. I'm like, crap. And she looked at me and I said, I start work at 10 o'clock. She's like, oh no. But we definitely heard them go past the end of the street at 10 o'clock. So as we're walking back, there's all these different golf carts and bicycles and tricycles, all coming, and motorcycles all coming up, all decorated in green, all ready for the parade and everything else like that. And they had this gorgeous, and I totally forgot. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to say that this is a typical female, and I apologize in advance. Usually I take notice of these things. They had a green convertible. It was absolutely gorgeous. I could not tell you the make and model of it because I totally forgot to look at that. It was this beautiful emerald green, and it had one guy was driving, and then in the seat next to him was a gentleman who was I don't know if he was a World War II vet, but definitely a Vietnam vet, all in his uniform. And he would have probably been late 80s, early 90s. And he was the Grand Marshal. And I thought, how cool is that? And I don't remember which service uniform he was wearing. I mean, there was just so much going on. There was so much shiny stuff, this green sparkly stuff all over the place. Sparkly object syndrome. So I'm like looking around and forgetting to take in the details. But it was pretty cool to see them all getting lined up, and everybody had little numbers on their carts as to what order they had to be in for the parade and everything. And so we walked around, and of course, Zephy's sort of like wanting to go say hi to everybody. But once she had finished her mission, she was on a mission. She totally ignored the fact that there were people around her, and she went and got her mission accomplished. You got to find the perfect spot. Got her mission accomplished, and then she sort of looked up, and it was sort of like, well, and she's looking around like, well, where did all these people come from? That's how focused she was on her mission at the time. She looks up and is like, well, where did all these people come from? So then she wanted to go say hi to everybody. I'm sort of like, yeah, no, we got to go finish our walk because I got to get ready. I got to go have breakfast because we didn't have breakfast at that point either. So we came back, we had breakfast. Yeah, she tried to get her tidbits. She got her little pieces of cheese, and then we got stuck into the workday, which was a very quiet day on the chat today. It was very quiet. And I did get my grocery order done not till after 12. It was ready to go. All I had to do was press the button. And so I finally got the button pressed on that, and the groceries were ordered. And then, of course, when they arrived, immediately took out all the refrigerated stuff because I had no freezer stuff because I have no space in my freezer right now, and got it all packed away into the refrigerator. So now I've got to go put all the dry goods away now. But I have everything I need now to make my chocolates, to make my chocolate smoothies, my raw chocolate smoothie, my raw chocolate. Did I get all the stuff for the raw chocolate ice cream? I think so. That one's going to be done in a blender, I think. And I've got my molds. Just need to wash the molds. So it won't be tonight. I'm just too exhausted. I got to do laundry tonight. I've got it on my list. We're going to go for a walk. I'm going to come back, take the trash over to the trash bins with the recycling, and then go do the laundry. So back to Thankful Thursday. Why be grateful? Oh my gosh, I love looking up topics as to why should I do this or why should I do that. Why should I be grateful every day? Well, number one, it improves your health. It actually improves your health. And I begin every morning with a grateful heart. I actually sit here and I have to write a minimum of 10 I am grateful for, blah, 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 blah. I have to write a minimum of 10. I think I did 15 this morning. I had a very grateful heart this morning. But why be grateful? It improves your health. Studies have shown that people who are grateful report fewer body aches and issues than other people. They're also more likely to exercise and regularly visit a doctor. Let's be grateful for that. Well, I can definitely say they're more likely to exercise because my exercise has increased because of the 30-day health challenge. As I was going along on that, I started writing down the I am grateful for pieces then, and have kept it going. And so I'm definitely noticing we're walking more each day. Going to the doctor? Yeah, no. I don't go to the doctor unless absolutely necessary. I'm just one of those people that if I have to go to the doctor, I will go to the doctor. But if I don't have to go, why bother? And people go, oh, but you're going to do preventive medicine and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, over here in the States, they require you to do so much preventive stuff compared to back in New Zealand. I mean, there were tests that we would do every 3 to 5 years in New Zealand. Over here in the States, it's yearly. I'm like, no, not happening. When they tell me, oh, we'll see you back next year, I said, not unless I have an issue. And they're going, oh, you got to come back and have this done and that done. I said, no. I said, if my tests all come back clear, you won't see me for another 3 to 5 years. And I just don't see why. Nobody can explain to me why. If I have good test results and every time I go back, so, oh, you haven't been in to see us for however long it is. I says, yeah, that's right. Well, we have to do this, and I said, okay, we'll get it done. And I get it done and the tests come back clear and it's see you in another 3 to 5 years. I know my body. I'm listening to my body more. I'm getting more in tune with my body. And that is because I'm being grateful every day. I'm actually being more aware of my body and what it's doing. Number 2, good stuff multiplies. Be present, be aware of your surroundings. Focus on what's working, not what's not working. Focus on what is working. And the more you focus on what's working, the more of the good stuff is going to come flowing in. It increases being grateful increases your energy. You notice the wins, you feel happier, you've got more energy to burn, you walk further, run further, do more, have longer workouts. It's just because you feel better. And when your energy increases and you start doing extra exercise, it creates those endorphins. Endorphins, and endorphins make you happy. So, why wouldn't you be grateful? It also, being grateful, keeps you in the moment. And it can help you stay upbeat and present more if you're able to keep yourself in the moment. It makes you more patient. And people go, really? I said, yeah. I said, because if you're thinking, I said, all the times we had to go and sit and I said, the one that upset us the most was when we went to the oncologist in UCLA. He would keep us waiting anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours beyond our appointment, and we had the first appointment of the day. We always booked the first office appointment of the day, and we wouldn't get taken back to an hour and a half to 2 hours after our appointment, our scheduled appointment time. And it would upset me knowing. So, and of course, that made the time seem longer. I got more impatient, got more irritated. But when I started looking, and because what he would do is, because Brad was on a maintenance program, is that he would I don't know, tell the desk or whatever, he would get his active patients to come in, and he would actually take them ahead of the maintenance patients. And a friend of mine suggested, and I almost did this one day, she suggested that we take a picnic hamper in with us. We lay it out on the floor, we sit down, spread out our picnic there on the floor. And I'm like thinking, yeah, there's no room in that place to do that. But this is what she's saying. And then we would take a selfie of us sitting there on the floor in the waiting room saying, our doctor keeps us waiting so long that we can sit here and enjoy a picnic. That was her suggestion. Now, she would be ballsy enough to go do that. And if she was going to be ballsy enough to do it, I would go with her. But for me to initiate something like that, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But when we started sitting in the waiting rooms, rather than dwelling on the fact that we were being kept waiting, I would take my knitting with me, and I was knitting chemo blankets at the time. I was knitting my chemo blankets, and I would just sit there and I would start being grateful for the person that this blanket was being made for. And it changed my whole outlook. Just that little mental shift. Like, I am sitting here knitting a chemo blanket for somebody. I don't know who it is. I will get a gut feeling of who I need to give it to when I'm done with it. I may get the gut feeling as I'm approaching finishing it. But I would be sitting there knitting this blanket. And as I'm knitting this blanket, I'm saying prayers for the person who is going to receive it, asked to be guided to the person that blanket is for, and it would put me in a better frame of mind. And I started being grateful for the fact that I had the skill to knit this blanket that would benefit somebody else. And when I started doing that, I became more patient, and the hour and a half to 2 hour wait didn't seem so long after that. Yes, it was still, the clock still moved, but to me, because I was present in the moment, I wasn't irked by time creeping by. When you're grateful, it makes you zoom out and gain perspective. So I always think, when I see something like this, I always think of Carrie Underwood's song, damn it, what's it called? I don't know, but the words in there is that sometimes that mountain you've been climbing is just a grain of sand. I can't remember the name of the song, and it's one of my favorite ones. It just totally went poof. But I think of that, and when you actually zoom out, because the closer in you are, the bigger the problem seems. But if you zoom out and get perspective, your mountain is now just a grain of sand. Think about that. And so when you step back in gratitude for being in that moment and having those experiences and going through whatever it is you're going through at the time, when you start finding that silver lining, you're actually stepping back from being up close here with it. Because see, my hand seems like it's really, really huge right now. But if I put my hand out here, now it seems more in proportion. Just, I don't know. I have no idea where that just came from. So when you're in gratitude, you can actually take a step back from that problem, and everything comes into perspective. Another reason that gratitude is why you should be grateful is it increases your optimism. It puts you in a positive frame of mind, and it's easier to find those silver linings. Like when you're going out, it's like, oh, it's raining. I love the rain. I learned years and years and years ago, it doesn't matter how much I bitch and moan about the weather, it's going to do what it wants to do anyway. And there's absolutely nothing I can do to change it. So I'm just going to figure out how to enjoy it. So now when it rains, what do? I go outside and dance. Zephyr will stand in the door of the RV and watch me, because she won't come out she doesn't like being outside when it's raining. She doesn't like getting wet. So she's happy to stand in the door and watch me go outside and dance in the rain. So find your silver lining. Always be looking for the silver lining. another reason you want to be grateful is actually improves your relationships, whether it is with a partner, whether it's with friends, with families. If you are in a place of gratitude, that changes the whole outlook, because when you're in a place of gratitude with friends and family and loved ones, you are coming from a place of love. Gratitude stems from love. And so you're now showing, and you are more aware and conscious of all the good stuff about that person than the one or two irks that they may have. There was a time when Brad was going through treatment and stuff, and I was just having a really bad day. And I was getting upset about the fact that, we're sitting here in a chemo office. I got to sit in this horrible chair for 3 hours. There's too many people in here because all their recliners were taken with chemo patients. I liked it when we had a chemo room to ourselves, which had 2 recliners in it, because I could go sit on one and go to sleep. And so there was just one day I was just feeling really bad about everything, and it seemed like every problem seemed to be weighing me down. And I literally just sat up, and I went, and I inside my head, because everybody's sleeping, to be quiet, nobody's talking to each other. And instead of looking at the little irks that were going on at the time with Brad and his treatments, it wasn't his fault he got cancer. He was still my husband. I still loved him dearly, and I wanted him to get through this, and we were going to be, and this is during the first round with cancer. And so I shifted my perspective, and all of a sudden I started seeing all the stuff that was right with Brad instead of the stuff that wasn't. And I started treating him with more love and respect and gratitude, and it reflected back, because what you put out gets reflected back. And the irks went away. Yes, there are times that the irks would creep up on you. Yes, there were times that we had those discussions, and was it the 6x6 or the 4x6? The 4x6, I think it was, would come out. The figurative 4x6 would come out, and I'd whack him across the head with it. Figuratively speaking, not actually. And we would have a discussion about it, and we would be okay, because we were coming from a place of love, and that would put us back on track and everything else. And then the last reason you should be grateful, there's tons more, but the last one that I have written down is it improves happiness. When you're coming from a place of gratitude, you are happier. It raises your vibrations. You start attracting more like to you, because remember, emotions are like a boomerang. Whatever you throw out there, it's going to come back. It might bang you on the head like a 4x6, but it will come back to you. So whatever you are putting out, it comes back. So when you are more grateful, when you're coming from a place of gratitude, you're full of love, you're full of gratefulness, you're happier, you're full of more joy in everything, and it helps your outlook on things, and you start getting more of those feelings being reflected back at you. So why not be grateful? Why not? Just giving you, was it like 9 or 10 different things there to be grateful for? I didn't number them. They just got little dashes next to them. So those are the reasons that why be grateful. For those reasons, improves your health. Good stuff multiplies, increases your energy, keeps you in the moment, makes you more patient, zooms you out and gives you perspective, increases optimism, improves your relationships, and improves happiness. That's 9. So I did 9. But anyway, I'm out of here. I will catch you guys back here a little later on for part 2 for today. So have a super fantastic, sparkling St. Paddy's Day. My hair's a mess. Look at this. Quick hairdo. There you go. It's done. Oh, look how blue my eyes are today. Wow, they're blue. Blue. And my whites are really white. I know they're starting to get a little pink in there because they're tired. Spent too much time on the computer today. Anyway, I'm out of here. Have a super fantastic, sparkling day. We'll catch you guys back here in a couple of hours. Hey,